this section, we are going to talk about pattern competition. Out of all the new rules modification, this is probably one of the most modified rules as far as the new rules is concerned. Now it is going to be one set of rules and it is widely available online, and I suggest everyone have a good read at this. Before I get into the details, I would like to give a little bit of a background of how do we arrive this result. There were used to be few sets of documents. There was the original competition rules and umpire rules. As you can imagine, with the few sets of documents, there will be some duplicity and even some contradiction with each other. So these new tournament rules is the effort of the umpire committee, the IT committee, and the technical committee put together a document that is consistent across the competition rules. For people who are interested in doing pattern umpire, there are various areas you can improve your pattern skills and knowledge. There is always the long-standing Taekwondo encyclopedia, and the technical committee has come up with a pattern manual. There are also some umpire ring council notes, and there is the pattern tables available. And there are various material available for people who wants to improve their pattern, being a pattern umpire. And of course, the knowledge acquired from IIC is also very important. Okay, the quality to become a pattern umpire. Well, it is very difficult and it takes a lot of practice to be proficient in the pattern umpiring. It is not about just going through your own pattern by yourself, because the athletes that you're going to be judging are trained against a very detailed towards the pattern criteria, the things that we learn from the encyclopedia and the knowledge we gain from the IIC. Prerequisites of the pattern umpire: not personal performance, but development of techniques, observation against a very specific detailed criteria. While your personal practice, always need to practice your mirrored observation, and you need to teach as much as you can on a daily basis. Considerable umpire preparation ahead of the event. The umpire has to prepare themselves almost as much as the athletes themselves and the coaches. The umpire requires to have a constant update on the criteria, the rules, and the technical detail. And they also need to be keep up to date with favorable skills and observation and reflex of scoring. And you have to prepare physically and mentally. During your practice, you have to imagine and trying to do a score. And you also need to develop your ring awareness and look at high-level athletes performing the pattern and trying to score them. And lastly, try to put yourself in the stress scoring condition. It is because as you're scoring, the score that you put is on screen, so it is for everybody to see. Just like the athletes, their performance diminish under stress, and so does the pattern umpire. And lastly, you will develop confidence in your decision and defend your decision as you call upon about your decisions. As you may aware that we have updated the pattern rules and got rid of level 2 and level 3 in the scoring criteria. Now this rule has been updated since the 2018, and why am I bringing this up now is the explanation of the 3-level scoring behavior from the umpire point of view. The 3-level scoring system had a good intention of having level 1 focusing on the dynamic detail of the pattern performance, where allowing level 2 and level 3 for the overall performance of the pattern on the power and sine wave. During the scoring process, the dynamic scoring is the only leverage where the jury president has visibility on your knowledge of pattern during the scoring. That means level 1. we noticed for some umpires who did very little scoring throughout the dynamic of the pattern performance, and they'll be using their level 2 or level 3 logic to summarize the pattern result at the end of the match. Therefore, in some cases, there is a chance of manipulation to the end result of the pattern. So as I said, from 2018, the umpire committee has decided to remove level 2 and level 3. In this way, the jury president have direct visibility of how is his ring counsel performing during the dynamic of the pattern. So if there are more practice that you have, the more knowledge that you gain, or more experience you gain from your reflex, it will potentially become the more accurate result from the umpire judging. So this will be more fair to the athletes as well as the umpire colleagues. Another significant change is that in our ITF, we have decided to change the performance. Instead of 1 versus 1, we have a solo performer on the stage for the pattern competition. Now it is all in level 1. We have 6 0-point conditions. One of the most significant updates about the individual pattern event is for the athletes to present his pattern on his own. This is due to an observation from the umpire team, and sometimes complain that it is very difficult to score 2 athletes simultaneously out of the 17 level 1 criteria. So now the scoring criteria remain the same, but now you have the sole focus on the one competitor. You can do the scoring throughout the pattern performance only. So this is a brief story of how we arrived to these new rules changes and the updates. And now we are going through the standard procedure of an individual pattern match. So to summarize, the pyramid system will still remain in place. Athletes will still perform 2 designated patterns. Athletes will now perform the pattern 1 plus 1 of the independently of each other. Purpose of this is to give the umpire a complete focus on a single performing athlete. Just some detail about the 2 patterns. The first designated pattern will be pattern out of the participant's rank, and the second designated pattern will be any pattern from the remaining choice. To open the ring, the jury president and the jury counsel will stand behind the table, and the center referee, pattern referee, will stand in front, bow to each other and take in position. In the case of World Championship, we will have 5 umpires for the pattern judges. A brief explanation on the duty. The jury president is to make sure all the administrative work is correct, making sure of the draw are correct, the correct name being indicated on screen, and the jury member will make sure the order of the draw, collecting the ID card from the competitor, and make sure the order of match is correct. In the World Cup and World Championship, we are 100% moved on to the electronic system. It used to be a problem for us, that is the computer operator is not a Taekwondo person, but it's no longer the case. And right now, all of our computer operator has to be minimum of 18 years old and an ITF black belt first degree. So they will have knowledge in the Taekwondo and the rules. All the selective umpire for the IT department would have done a IUC, digital IUC class. Now coming back to the procedure, we will follow the team pattern rules, whereby the home will always goes first for a single performer competition, and some people might criticize the fairness of this because home has to go first, but in any single performance competition, somebody has to go first. However, with the single assessment on the pattern competition, the umpire is assessing on that one competitor performance and award them with a final score. So they're not comparing red against blue, but on the individual performance. In this way, it should be completely bias free and be more fair in the scoring system. The Because now we have individual performer for 2 designated pattern solo on the stage, therefore the center referee will have a different set of hand signal to control the process of the match. So during the pattern competition, the center referee acts as a spoken person for the umpire who are evaluating the competitor's performance. Their duties are as the same as other umpire, however they are the person to issue commands and direct the competitors. So by commanding Hong, Chung, extending straight arms to each position on the area, and the bowing procedure remains the same, the computer operator will now show the first designated pattern on screen, and the center referee will give a signal for both competitors to face the front, extend parallel, arms raised and palm facing himself, and then he will give signal for Chung to move to the side of the ring. Left arm remain vertically with the palm facing self, and right arm facing palm is extending to the right. Chung competitor will then move to the side directly in line with the starting position, and Chung will stand on the red tatami mat perimeter and at ease position facing the jury table. At this moment, Chung should not be moving around or out of respect or talk to anyone at this time, and there shall be no communication for Chung with anyone including their coach. During this moment, competitor Hong is freely to move inside of the mat and deciding where the starting position of the pattern, and the center referee will give Hong the command of Junbi, and the first designated pattern were already on screen, so he will rightly prepare where the starting position are, followed with Sicha to perform the first designated pattern. Upon the completion of the pattern, give the command Baro and Sure, and all the umpire will cease scoring at the command of Sure. And just to repeat, there will be no level 2 or level 3 scoring anymore. Therefore, at the point of Sure, there will be no more scoring in place. Then direct home to the ring parameter, extend left arm out to the left with palm facing athlete. Then call Chung to enter the ring, extend arm with palm facing towards athlete, and moved inward to show the direction. Chung will then stand on their original starting position, not center of the ring. So the bowing and the stopping process is exactly the same as the home. Once it's done, under the direction of the jury president, the computer operator will close the score box for the first designated pattern. This will release the score for the first designated pattern onto the screen. On the direction from jury president, the computer operator will immediately draw the second designated pattern. The umpire needs to confirm the second designated pattern with the controllers. Upon the second designated pattern, it will begin with Hong, same procedure as before, and send in Chung and perform the second designated pattern. This is an extra note to the corner judges. After the performance of Hong, the jury president must not allow the computer operator to click X to close the score box, as this will release the score to the screen before the athletes are ready, and will call Hong to return to the ring and their starting position, arm extended left and brought to the center, and will direct competitor face each other, both arm raised vertically with palm facing each other, and give the command "차르 kuye" for them to bow to each other. Then Hong and Chung face the jury table, both arm vertically with arm facing down, give the final command "차르 kuye" for bow to the jury president. On the final command of Kunye, the jury president will verify again the score and direct the computer operator to close the scoring boxes. The computer operator then click X to close all the scoring boxes to release the cumulative matches score on screen. And the jury president will then announce the winner. It's either be Hong or Chung. In the cases of a draw, the match will require a further designated pattern to be performed to decide the match. A third designated pattern will be drawn from the remaining patterns not performed by the athletes. The duty president directs the computer operator to draw and show the third designated pattern on screen. The procedure will be followed as before until a winner is decided. Here I'm sharing a short video of how the center referee carrying, enter and exit ring procedures.
저릿, 경일, 저릿, 경일. 준비, 시작. 바로 쇼. 준비, 시작. 바로 쇼. 준비, 시작. 바로 쇼. 준비, 시작. 바로 쇼. 저릿, 경일, 저릿, 경일.
Duty President gives sung.
해산.
So this next part we are moving on to the scoring elements. The only thing being updated is to integrate the level 2 to level 3 into level 1, and the total points for the pattern remains the same. As I mentioned before, there is a considerable amount of detail in the scoring criteria, but the ITF pattern has always been blessed that we received there are always detailed instructions of how the ITF pattern should be performed, and our pattern athletes are preparing according to these technical details. There are details in stances, the stepping in between the stances, the preparation of actions, the execution of the action, and the alignment of the movement and the level of power for the particular movements. So I cannot stress enough, as an umpire in pattern, you must have the matching amount of knowledge, observational skill for the detail to be presented. Umpire shall score all points electronically as indicated in the official ITF or competition. Umpire will deduct up to 10 points in total of 50 potential clicks in the 0.2 increments only. For each technical error note, all will be given to a total score of 0 if major penalty is noted. There are a total of 17 conditions that will result in 0.2 demerits points and 6 critical mistakes that will result 0 points for the entire pattern. To be able to anticipate the difficult section of the pattern means extensively knowing the pattern from both athletes' perspective and in reverse from the umpire perspective. Another perspective for scoring is to section groups of scoring criteria into fundamental movement building blocks to assess. Which means as an umpire, you should know where are the general mistakes or the critical mistakes might occur. And you should be able to observe this in a mirror format. What we meant by building blocks are stances, stepping between stances, rhythm and sine wave, techniques preparation and execution, techniques height and alignment. There will be of course some overlap with some scoring criteria. So let's start with the first building block, stances, stepping, rhythm, sine wave for the scoring criteria. To begin with, do you know what is the required accurate stance for the pattern? If it is correct, it is accurate. And the next criteria is incorrect or incorrect stepping. This is referring to how do you move in between the stances. So going through from pattern Chonji to Munmu, which is all the pattern for the pattern competition, these are all the stepping methods in between stances documented in the technical booklet. In this statement, it sets the rhythm and sine wave of the scoring criteria, and this implies some of the level 2 to level 3 combined. In the old document, it says the correctness of applying sine wave per movement. Now this is being integrated into these criteria in level 1. The first part of the statement is we are looking at the application of sine wave in a static movement. For example, we are performing the first movement in Dosan, walking stance, high side block, and then you do a sine wave to execute the reverse punch. This is how sine wave were performed in an individual movement. So now we have added the rhythm into the statement, and this rhythm could imply to how you move in between the stances. And in many cases, we have different way of moving, such as slipping or pulling, and there is a rhythm associated with that. So moving on here, I'm showing you a pattern reference book that indicate where all these different types of stepping is happening. For instance, here I have an example of slipping and pulling. With these examples, you can start building a picture in your mind where there's a different steps that's coming up or a different type of stepping, and you can predict or anticipate where the error might occur. Coming back to the presentation, we have incorrect rhythm in the stepping or transition between movements, and not returning to the starting point. However, we do give an allowance of a distance of 1 shoulder radius. Next one is returning to the starting point with the wrong foot. I think this is quite straightforward. And lose balance. Losing balance do not limit to jumping or flying techniques upon landing. It also implies to losing balance also applies to weak stances and moving in between stances. Also taking account of incorrect stances, inaccurate stances, or incorrect steps in between stances as a result of losing balance. With that respect, it often comes up to our attention as the umpire, pattern umpire, is that the differences between shifting and sliding, and quite often we see they look the same. Be reminded, shifting is only 5 cm and sliding is 1 shoulder width in distance. And the next example is between jumping and flying techniques. If you look at my table again, here it referenced the different distance requirement for certain jumping or flying techniques. Thanks to this pattern booklet, we have a good summary of the distance requirement between the jumping techniques and flying techniques. So these demerits points also come under inaccurate or incorrect stepping. Okay, so moving on to the other demerits point in pattern scoring is the actual inaccurate or incorrect preparation of the execution of techniques. Another point to note about losing balance is if you observe certain amount of power should have been performed in certain technique, for instance, Gopuro Sogi or Weibao Sogi, bending stance or one leg stance, the athlete is aware of the power required on a normal stance such as L stance or fixed stance, but they trade off the power on the blocking by maintaining the balance of the one leg stance. There is a chances from the athlete's point of view that the losing balance on such stance is more visible or easier to be picked up by the umpire than losing power in a certain techniques. In these cases, the umpire might need to take the power off the certain techniques due to the lack of power by preserving the balance of such techniques. So the next point is hesitation or stopping for more than a split of a second. Keep in mind that if we have another criteria, which is stopping the pattern completely for no more than 2 seconds is disqualified. So with a bit of a hesitation in the movement, you also need to take points off from the rhythm. Inaccurate or incorrect motion refers to your rhythm, that is normal, natural, fast, slow, connecting, continuous motions. And this is often associated to your breath control, whether you are applying the correct breath control related to these movements. Another aspect to look at is the preparations of techniques. Inaccurate or incorrect preparation of execution of techniques, that is, whether you have too much of a preparation or too little of a preparation, that is your alignment, hip rotation, the height of the cross arms, bending knees, etc., etc. Therefore, we need the umpire to have a thorough understanding of the requirement in the pattern. So as a tip for the multiple demerits point for techniques, I would suggest the umpire to practice and anticipate the combination of techniques that will appear in the pattern and often be ready to witness this error as they occurred. This concludes the demerits point for pattern. The last one will be some tips on the jury precedent when they witness the zero score condition. Here are the critical mistakes in the pattern competition that will result a zero score immediately. They are adding or omitting any movement or changing any sequence of movement. They are not prescribed by the technical directions of pattern. Number 2, stopping the pattern completely or pause for more than 2 seconds. Number 3, starting a pattern with a different ready position than specified by the technical direction of the pattern. Now these include the ending position as well. Number 4, failing to complete the prescribed sequence and direction of steps that completed the pattern diagram. Number 5, failing to perform the designated pattern requested or performed a pattern that is out of the grade of the competitor. Number 6, starting the pattern towards a wrong direction, may that be side, front, or rear. In the cases of a 0 point situation, 0 point is seen by the jury president and scored by all umpires. That's very good. Scenario number 2, 0 points is seen by jury president and majority of the umpire. No harm has been done to the score at this point. Jury president will, before releasing the score, bring the umpires in and say there was a 0 score infraction. Mention that majority saw it but some did not, so please pay attention in the future. Scenario number 3. 0 point is seen by jury president but with the minority of umpires. The outcome from this is a wrong umpire decision that could affect the incorrect ethic going forward. Before releasing the score, jury president should bring in all umpires and state, did anyone see the 0 point situation because there was one? If you feel that it was something you missed, please consider that with your score now. Possible response from the umpire from these could be, well, yes, I did see that, but I did not consider it as a 0 infraction. So they could be informed it as a 0 point situation and through their own validation and adjust their score. This situation, 0 point, is seen by jury president but missed by all umpires. The jury president first followed the previous scenario by asking what was seen. Did anyone see the 0 point situation because there was one? If you feel that you see something that you would like and you didn't think it was a 0, please consider that with your scoring now. Ideally, the jury president with one additional umpire watching the performance to help with the 0 point situation. If negative, contact the umpire committee before releasing the score. Last but not least, If an umpire gives a 0 score pressing button 3 by accident, don't worry, keep scoring, as the score will be recorded in the box. Immediately after the athlete's performance is over, the umpire should approach the jury president and give their score manually. This concludes the individual pattern presentation, and try to exercise the scoring as it goes and anticipate the area that is difficult or with potential mistakes. Good luck!
正常要求時則時則A 俾個 A 我時則準備時則
時則